Hey up lads and lasses, Damphyre here, back again with some more Infinite Lagrange. Today, carrying on with the Fighters Bombers, and no one commented really what they wanted to see, bar someone commenting a Corvette, which obviously won't happen because I'm not doing the Corvettes yet. So we are going to jump into what I said I'd do, which is probably just do all the ones that are capable of AA first, because they're probably the most important fighters around. I'd say, you know, like things like Mistrals and Strix are more important than Vita Speeds. Yes, Vita Speeds are an absolute incredible amount of damage output, but it's no good if, you know, they're just getting shot out the sky because you can't clear the enemy aircraft either. So to carry that on, the Strix is the next one in line, and then probably the AT-0221, or whatever that thing's called, is probably there as well. So, the Strix A100, in terms of its capability, it's very middle road. So, the Mistral is at the top in terms of its AA output by, you know, a considerable margin. And then the Spore is probably just below the Mistral and can do some serious AA work, but again, it has that caveat of having to be in the main fleet. It can't be in a flank fleet if you want it to do AA. And then the Strix is a lower damage output, but then you got the ability, it can be in the flank fleet, and it will do AA in the flank fleet. So you kind of you're sort of like having to switch between Spore and Strix depending on which fleets you're going to put them into. So it's probably sort of like on par with the Spore in terms of like being the second best in AA capability, but it's only got that because its versatility of being able to do that in the flank fleet, not just the main fleet, you know, only. So you got to try and balance those things out, I guess. And to be honest, if it does lower damage output than the Spore in a main fleet, but it does actually do AA damage in you know, the flank fleet, so it works out quite well. So I actually rate this quite highly. Right up there again with the Spore. It's no Mistral. Nothing will probably ever be as good as the Mistral. Let's hope anyway, because one of those overpoweredness is enough, because they are just ridiculous. So you kind of run the Strix as AA. It has the capability to also do okay damage against small ships as well. So when it clears the skies, it's got, you know, some capability there as well, which is quite nice for certain. Has something I should note, it has got system damage, and it is against weapons hypes here, which is actually really good. So it does make it quite a bit more versatile than you expect. Starting off like I always would recommend with the fighters is going into its propulsion system and at least picking up double the hit rate and the evasion here, because you're going to be grabbing the hit rate later on anyway. When flying to the target to attack the front row targets, 30% chance of ignoring the enemy aircraft weapons pre-targeting effect. This is actually, unfortunately, in my opinion, useless on the ship, because you should be using it for AA priority over anti-ship. It has got a strategy to target ships, but I wouldn't recommend it. So start off, get your ship evasion. You might as well pick up the hit rate while you're here. They're pretty cheap at 8 CP a pop. And then going into its armor system and grabbing the HP. You've only got 3 slots here, which is a little bit unfortunate. So 2 HP, and I'd highly recommend picking up the short-range stealth coating to reduce being hit by missiles and torps, again, because Wing Hussar is quite prevalent, and light cone and stuff is also quite prevalent, and they have got AA capability, and their AA comes from missiles. Going into its weapon system finally. This is the strategy I'd recommend never taking on this ship. Prioritize attacks on frigates and destroyers, reduce attack duration by 50%, increase cooldown by 70%, every 45 seconds for 35 seconds. It's actually a really good strategy, but because you're kind of like sit in a position where there are only 4 reasonable AA aircraft in the game: Mistral, Spore, Strix, and AT-021. So you kind of don't want this attacking frigates and destroyers, even though this is a really good strategy because reduced attack duration by 50% is amazing. But again, I'd highly recommend not taking this just because of the fact that there are other ships that can, do the role of anti-ship damage in terms of fighters, bombers, Vetus Bs, Vetus As. There is enough aircraft for you to, fill that role up and not take the Strix out, so you can keep this as an AA tool in your arsenal. So, again, we want more hit rate, so I would start off with this hit rate buff here, and then pick up the second hit rate. This brings you to 3 hit rate buffs on the ship, and this is why it does quite decent AA potential, because of the triple hit rate buffs that it can get going. So it's pretty damn accurate. It gets its hits in, and it doesn't do unreasonable damage here at 136 damage a shot. 4 attacks per round. It's not bad. You've also got anti-aircraft special ammo, which increases the damage by another 20, so you're actually hitting 150-ish. And again, you can puff that by 5% here, and we also got explosive ammo enhancement, which I'll show you in a second, which is a crit damage build. So, back into the weapon system, and double hit rate, cooldown is the way to go here. And then you have a bit of a choice, because you do pick up the second cooldown, and then you either go into damage or you go into crit. Damage is more consistent, however, I've been testing out the crit capability, and it's not bad, and it is worth actually probably trying out yourself and seeing what you think you enjoy more. So to do that, again, double hit rate, double cooldown, so that's 4 of your 6 slots, and then you take the sympathetic detonation and then the explosive ammo enhancement for massive crit potential, and it does pretty damn well in the crit build. And I actually run the crit build on this, which is unusual for me because I normally run more consistent damage output by just picking up the damage. But in this case, the crit damage I found worked better for me most of the time when testing. Your other option, obviously, go into the pulse counting damage here instead. That is pretty much it for the Strix. There isn't really, much going on. You got a prop system, an armor system, and a charged the pulse cannon system. The command system, the only bonus here is you got prioritized attack on super capitals, which you really don't want this thing to do, and the automated maintenance efficiency of the system, which is what I'd probably pick up if you want to max it out to get the maxed out look of it. Armor system, again, we spoke about that, double HP and short range coating. Your other option here is if you do want this to go anti-ship, I should say on the other build, the crit build or the damage build against AA, you've already picked up 2, you've got 3 slots left. I recommend the target selection times to fill in that gap, and you finish it off with a reciprocal. The reciprocal's not bad here, but you don't want to pick up the other strategy anyway with that AA build. If you are going to use it as anti-ship, which I don't recommend, drop the one of the target selection times for the close combat assault on the prop, and when you come into the weapon system, pick up the rapid fire, drop the hit rate against fighters, corvettes, and then you run basically the same thing. So in this case, it'd be hit rate, double cooldown, strategy, and then the double crits or the double damage. Probably the double crits because that attack duration, and with the massive cooldown decrease as well, you're going to start getting these crits out quite a lot. So buffing this crit up, we're going to get 50% crit damage here. You're going to get another 40% there, plus another 80% off the explosive ammo enhancement if you do choose to stick some weapon tech into it. And yeah, it's going to chunk quite nicely. So that is the Strix. Really cool. It's one of my favorite looking fighters in the game as well. It looks very interceptory. Which is interesting because it has got the capability of going, anti-frig, anti-destroyer, or it's got the choice of going AA. I'd still, like I said, recommending the AA over the frig destroyer. It is capable of doing damage to frig destroyer. I don't particularly think it's very good at it. Even with the strategies and stuff, I'd still just recommend going AA. And yeah, that is the Strix. So, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.